Imagine this. You get fired for not doing the impossible. But just months later, the very same company ends up paying 10 times your salary to finish the work you were already doing. And the boss who pushed you out? She gets fired in disgrace. This is the story of how my manager underestimated me and paid the ultimate price. If you ever had a boss who treated you unfairly, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real-life revenge stories, because today's tale is one of the most satisfying workplace takedowns you'll ever hear. This was the early 2010s. YouTube was still young, and universities were just starting to realize how powerful video content could be for branding. So when I landed a job as a content creator at a university, I thought I'd scored big. Sure, the pay wasn't great, about $2,200 a month, but I was excited to prove myself. Back then, there weren't many professional video creators around, and I figured this was my chance to shine. On my second day, my manager handed me my KPIs. I was expected to create 85 videos in 1 year, each one between 3 and 10 minutes long. At first, I thought it was a typo. 85 videos in just 52 weeks, and not just editing. I was expected to script, cast, shoot, compose original music, and edit all by myself, using my own equipment, because their cameras and computers were so outdated they couldn't even process basic 720p footage. I remember staring at her in shock. That's not possible for one person, I told her, but she just smiled and said, "Don't worry, focus on quality, not just numbers. As long as the videos are good, the quantity won't matter." Naive as I was, I believed her. The first month went well enough. My manager seemed supportive, and I threw myself into the work. Long nights, weekends, no social life. I poured everything into those videos. But then she found out I was a smoker. Her entire attitude flipped overnight. Suddenly, the woman who praised my dedication was nitpicking everything. "You smell like cigarettes after your break. You came in 5 minutes late. Why aren't you answering calls during lunch?" Never mind the fact that I was working 4 hours of unpaid overtime every single day. One colleague even face-bombed when I mentioned it. She whispered, "You didn't know? She hates smokers. She tries to get them fired." That's when I realized I was no longer her star employee. I was her next target. 5 months in, I was called into the director's office. My stomach dropped when I saw my manager sitting there, wearing the smug little expression, like she was already celebrating my funeral. The director's tone was cold. "We're disappointed. It's been half a year, and you've only completed 30 out of 85 videos." I explained everything. How I was essentially a one-man army. How my videos were actually the highest viewed content on the channel. How my manager herself had told me to focus on quality. But the director wasn't listening. She repeated, "The KPI is 85 videos. You're behind. We're letting you go." And then my manager, she smirked and said, "Don't worry. We'll hire a professional production house to finish the work." That's when it clicked. They thought I was replaceable, disposable. And in that moment, something inside me shifted. See, one of my responsibilities was keeping a database of production houses, companies we could hire if we needed bigger shoots. My manager didn't have those connections. She would rely entirely on my list. So before I walked out, I changed all the contact numbers and emails. Every single one, except for one. That one was a production house where my friend worked as a junior director. I called him up immediately. "Listen," I said, "you're about to get a call from my old manager. Here's the plan." I gave him a step-by-step playbook of exactly how to pitch. The style, the themes, even the buzzwords the director loved to hear. In return, his production house would pay me a 15% finder's fee for the massive contract they were about to land. It was a win-win. Sure enough, 2 days later, my friend's company got the call. And just like I predicted, their pitch blew my old boss away. The director was stunned by how perfectly they understood the university's needs. They signed the deal on the spot. But here's the kicker. Hiring a production house wasn't cheap. Each video cost double or triple my old monthly salary. But with a full team, directors, producers, editors, sound engineers. They could pump out videos in just a couple of days. In 4 months, they produced 50 videos. The university shelled out over 10 times the original budget. And me, I sat back, collected my 15% cut. About 15 months worth of my old salary. Enough for a dream vacation and tuition for film school overseas. I thought that was the end of it. Sweet, clean revenge. But then, while I was sipping cocktails in Bali, I got a call from that same colleague, the one who warned me my manager hated smokers. She was practically giggling. "You'll love this. Your manager's been fired. The director, too." Turns out, the university's chancellor discovered the project's budget had been blown out of the water. What was supposed to cost about a year and a half of my salary had cost more than 10 times that. All because my ex-manager wanted to prove she could finish the project without me. Her arrogance got her fired. The director got chewed out by the chancellor. And me? I walked away with money, connections, and peace of mind. The same boss who tried to humiliate me for smoking. The same boss who fired me for not meeting impossible demands. She was the one who ended up humiliated, unemployed, and replaced. And the university? They learned the hard way that treating your workers like trash doesn't come cheap. The lesson here? Never underestimate the person you're stepping on. Sometimes a replaceable employee is the only thing holding your project together. And karma has a funny way of giving people exactly what they deserve. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button. Drop a comment telling me the worst boss you've ever had. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where justice gets served in the sweetest way possible.